Hey, yo, it's Corey from the Progression Point Podcast. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First and foremost, it's free. There's nothing that you have to put down, straight free. Man, if you got anything that you want to talk about, and if you ever thought about doing a podcast, this is the easiest way to do it, and it's free. There's certain creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Doesn't matter if you have an Apple phone or if you're strictly Android. Download the app, get it cracking. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Music, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So, do this for me. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's that easy. Now to the podcast.
𝙿𝚾𝙀 Beats.
The top is where we going, yeah. So out it, I can't come down, yeah. We just wanna come out, yeah. And we don't really wanna come down, yeah. Hustle and grind till we come up, hustle and grind till we come up, hustle and grind till we come up, yeah. And you can't block my shine, oh no. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Corey.
And it's your boy T.Y.
And you already know what it is, man. It is the Progression Point
Podcast.
Episode 7? Because I don't know what that is in Espanol.
7.
7. Episode 7. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, ocho. 9.
8, 9.
Skip one.
10. So 7.
7.
What's going on with y'all, man? And what's going on with you, Double C?
Man, I'm good, man. Back
good?
in the building.
Back in the building.
We back this week.
Yeah, because last week was supposed to be 7.
It was supposed to be.
We want y'all to just hear.
Just
hear and listen and watch. I forgot, bro. Why did I forget that we were recording?
We are recording.
Yeah, we're actually recording video. We call this the bloop bloop.
Bloop bloopity bloop bloop.
The podcast episode is not a bloop bloop.
No.
But the video, if you catch it on YouTube, we put it on there, we might call it a bloop bloop.
Might. Are we going to use this?
I don't know.
Like we're recording right now. Are we using this or?
If it depends on the audio.
I'm talking about this part right here though. The audio, is this real? Or
This
we
is
just
real right now.
Oh.
This is real.
I thought we was just joking.
Oh no, this is real life. This is who
Oh.
we are, brother.
Well,
It doesn't matter. We spent a lot of time trying to get this to work. We ain't starting over. We are not starting over.
Man, if y'all know how much technical difficulty we've been having with these mics and this computer,
Yes.
the last uno, dos, tres, cuatro weeks, 4 weeks. Man, I can't wait till we got somebody full time to do this.
Yeah,
bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm so tired right now. So I'm gonna try to.
That might have been why you said, "Hey, bro, I'm done with that 30-minute." your fatigue was talking.
straight up talking, straight through my teeth, bro. 30 minutes, let's get it.
He's like, "Oh, you said 30, bro? All right, let's do it." I'm tired.
No, man, I'm trying to get back up, man, and get up, man, and get my routine back going to this gym, bro. Like, man, moving here, man, like. We have had so much, like, just up, down, no stability. So, like, when I was back home in Illinois, man, me and the wife get up at 5 in the morning. We get it.
Yeah.
You know, just being here, man, it's just starting different times. Kids got school. So, right now, I'm just trying to get my body adjusted to getting back up at 5. So, I've been getting up at 5, man. And I go to the gym later on the day, but I'm just getting my body just accustomed to getting up between 4:30 and 5.
Bro, like.
It sucks.
It does. Because, like, I haven't been to the gym, right? So, like, you know, I've been doing lift and stuff. And so, the last week, bro, I've been getting up at, like, 3:30 in the morning, bro. But I've been just going out just driving. And I'll do it for, like, until probably, like, 6.
People up at 3:30.
People up. Like, they're going to work, going to get picked up at the airport, going to the airport.
Right.
And so, I was thinking about that because, like, I recently put a calendar, not put a calendar up, but, like, I created a calendar for my kids. Like,
nice.
They all have a calendar as it relates to their their activities, their chore time. Like everything is a time slot.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is making sure that they're aware, because I know with my kids, I was like telling them like, hey, you need to do this and do that, and I'm expecting them to take accountability to the direction.
Right.
But if there's no documentation to the direction, it's just more of an idea than
That's it. I did that, bro. I did that last week, Monday and Tuesday. I made a list of stuff that I need to get done.
Yeah.
Bro, I got everything done.
Because you made a list.
Except one thing. I'm not even going to lie. That one thing.
But dude, compared to, think about if you didn't make a list, though.
Bro, I got my DBA done for the
business?
For the other business.
For the other business.
Yeah, for the other business. Man, right. Yep, the vintage clothing, man. I got that done. A few other things I had to get done. I had to call the student loan people, all kind of stuff. Only thing I didn't do is I didn't call the doctor's office, and I hate doctor's offices.
Is that why you didn't call?
Probably. So, but no, bro, like in all honesty, I need to get that done because I need to, stay on top of my health.
Yes.
And also, I'm supposed to get a sleep study. The sleep study helped me get better sleep at night.
Yeah.
And if I get they give me a machine, I can go to sleep early.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll get up early, feel refreshed.
Yeah.
Want to go to work.
Yeah.
Want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So it's on me. So I just need to get it done. So I promise y'all tomorrow I will check on me, ask me to call a doctor.
Dude, yeah. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to call him.
I'm going to do that like in the morning. As soon as I wake up.
I hate the doctor, bro.
Call them.
I hate him.
It's not about, I don't care what you feel. It's about
you being here.
You being here.
Doing what you need to do.
It didn't matter. Like, and I get the thing, because like hospitals suck. Like the idea, because like a lot of people don't make it out of those situations, being in the hospital or dealing with things that are health-wise. But if we choose to, when you try to ignore potential problems,
right,
they become
make bigger ones.
Damaging problems.
Make bigger ones.
Yeah. And that, it's so funny, like even with saying that, like I was telling that to my son, like I don't know if you remember back in the day, Esteban Weaver. You remember him? He was like a high school phenom from Ohio. He was like bigger than Kobe, bro. Wow. Yeah. Like bigger than Kobe. Like a lot of you guys, if you know Esteban Weaver, let us know in the comments if you've seen him. There's like a not biography, but like a documentary on YouTube about his walk and his path towards how he kind of like, he was the man, the myth, and the legend that never was, is what they call it. The legend that never was. And he allowed himself to get distracted, and he says it himself in the documentary. It was like, he thought because of who he was that he can do whatever he wanted.
It's a great segue, honestly, into what we're talking about today.
Terms of service.
What are your terms of service?
What are your terms of service, bro?
So basically, my man didn't have any terms of service put in where, everybody knows what terms of service is. You go get a phone, or you fill out anything that have terms of service. It's just an outline of things that they have put in place, basically, to protect themselves.
Protect themselves.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like we, as individuals, we need to have some terms of service put into place to protect us, and just keep a lot of the negativity and a lot of things that block us from our potential out of our lives. So, yeah, man, that's today's episode. Terms of service.
But TOS, bro, like I like the fact that like it makes a lot of sense. Like you said, it does segue into, and I gotta get closer to the mic because like, I'm over here looking at this line. I'm like, bro, it looks it looks flatline for most of it.
Right.
That we've been talking.
No, I think we good. I think we're good. Let's move it over just a little bit.
In Jesus' name. In Jesus'
over there. Yeah, there we go.
In Jesus' name.
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
It's good. I think we're good. I think we're good.
You the producer, bro.
I won't say all that.
You are a producer. You know what I'm saying? You're an artist. You a musician.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I don't do the audio technical stuff when it comes to audio, man. That's you.
True.
The expert. Yeah.
I'm getting better.
No, you're there. You're progressing from there.
Yes.
You're already there. Now it's about progress.
That's right. That's
progression.
right.
But you see what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the camera.
I am looking.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know if we're going to put this on here. And those who are listening, we're testing out the video. The camera. And in that, this might be on there. You might see one of our TPP shirts. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and crack it, rankled and all.
Rankled
and all. But
only rankled because we're not using it yet.
We ain't using it yet. But we gonna get one of the little steam joints.
Yeah.
You're gonna see it in the video in that 4K quality.
Oh yeah, we got these too for y'all.
Oh yeah, we got them stickers. And, let me sip on my little lemonade as I drink my tea here. But going back to the main thing,
yes.
TOS. Terms of service. One of the biggest things when we initially were talking about it was when it comes to having terms of service. Like, pretty much it comes down to what are your standards that you're not willing to budge on, bro? Like, what barriers did you place in your own life that you said that you would not cross the line?
All right, so check it. When we were kids, what was the one thing that we said we would not do? Just think. I'm not gonna do what? I'm not gonna do drugs.
Oh yeah.
That was a term of service, right?
That was a term of service. Like, you made a vow,
but
that you weren't gonna do things like that.
Yep. And I never forget, man. I was probably like in third grade, and this is when I lived in Milwaukee, and all my friends, we were walking to school, and older guy walked by us. He was smoking a blunt, and we was like, "Oh man, we'll never do that."
Yeah.
Man, my terms of service were not strong.
You made some amendments.
I made some amendments, bro. But I look at this generation, and I look at bro, they don't have a lot of them don't have no standards.
No, they don't.
And they look up when they're 25, they're like, yo, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I played and I played and I played. I didn't set boundaries in place when I was when I was 17, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? And so, especially for our young ladies.
Yeah.
You didn't have boundaries. You didn't have terms of service.
Yeah.
So when you 22, 23, and you out here, struggling. You know what I mean? Because you let somebody come in and amend your terms of services.
Ooh, bro, there's this book called A Culture of Honor, bro, that we're reading by this guy named Danny Silk from Bethel Church.
Okay.
And that's Bill Johnson and Chris Valentin's church out in Bethel. Bethel Church, that's in Redding, California. Shout out to them. And if you've heard of Bethel music, if you're Christian into Christian music, you know who these.
They like the heavyweights in
worship.
Love them, nobody.
Oh yeah, bro, awesome. So we're reading this book with the family. It's called Culture of Honor, and one of the episodes or the stories in there was a guy, him and the girl, they were dating and they messed around. And before they decided they were going to stop having sex with each other, they girl ended up getting pregnant a couple of months before they started to go into the school of ministry. And so the leaders were like, hey, what are you going to do? What is the problem? And so they were scared, they were fearful and all this other stuff. And so he just was asking them asking questions. To kind of make a long story short, bro, his excuse was, well, she would make me want to stay and she would get upset with me, and not saying I didn't enjoy it or anything like that. It was just more of like when I was ready to leave, she thought I was rejecting her.
Right.
And so he said that, oh, okay, so your problem is that you did it because you thought you didn't want to make her mad anymore. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, so you'll tend to do things to prevent people from being upset with you. And he said, instead of putting yourself in the position of, no, you cared more about not making her mad than protecting her from you. And it gave me perspective of what we're talking about now, which is what are your terms of service for what you're willing to stand by and not overlook or make amendments to when it comes to who you see yourself as being. And again, we're all leaders to some capacity, because that was one of the things in the story where it talked about how who else was impacted by your decision. And a lot of times we'll look at it like, oh, well, how would I do impact these other students?
Right.
Like, I don't even know a lot of them, but they're looking at your life.
Looking at your life, absolutely.
It don't matter if you personally know them. If they know what's going on with you without you having to tell them, they're going to come to their own conclusion about who you are.
Right.
So you're held accountable to communicate, number one, your wrongdoing. Number two, what you are doing to kind of rectify it. And number three, apologizing for misrepresenting, regardless of their opinion. And I think, again, going back to our whole point with the terms of service, bro, like, you have to hold yourself accountable. And then when you do try to amend it or even break through those terms when it comes to like making bad decisions or making bad choices, whether it be financially, and some of y'all doing that with y'all's tax returns today.
You spent it already.
and so my biggest thing now, bro, is like when you do make those mistakes, are you willing to take ownership of it?
Right, absolutely.
Are you willing to apologize for overstepping your boundaries, even to people you don't know? Because again, like, you're cutting corners on yourself.
Right. And
other people, when they see that see you cutting corners, whether they know you or not, you're giving them free reign to now have an opinion about not only you and the decisions that you make, but also to be at liberty to be justified in their own wrongdoing because you're not taking ownership.
I was just thinking about a quote that I heard somebody say. I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but he was just saying like a man, or I'm gonna say a woman, with convictions is so powerful.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like, man, if you don't have any convictions, bro, like you just like chaff in the wind. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just blow anywhere. You know what I mean? If you don't have like no terms of service, no standards, no like, I'm not doing this. I have a goal in mind. I have this in mind, and I'm meeting it. Yeah. Or I'm not allowing, somebody to come in, and we're gonna keep saying this word, amend my terms of service. Yeah. Because, man, like, dog, there's so many things that I wish I had some convictions and some terms of service on when I was 18, 19, and 20, bro. And even now, you know what I mean?
Yo, right now.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of things that we do, even to this day, but again, it goes back to, what is the name of our podcast? The progression point, right? Yep. Like, it's not about us looking at ourselves of chasing the idea of what perfection is. It's about being aware of
progress over perfection.
Progress over perfection. We got them stickers for you too. Yep. Holla at us. Yep. And that's the thing. Like, I was talking to my son. Like, so to kind of give you some quick context with this. So my son, little Negro, got suspended from school for fighting.
Oh, right? See, lately.
Yeah. He out here. He got that teenage thing popping, where he's feeling himself. Oh, yeah. He ain't liking nobody talking about him. And so he was just feeling, so he felt like he had to prove something to some people. And we had a talk, and it kind of goes back to what I was bringing up with the Esteban Weaver. Like, I had him watch the documentary.
Oh, that's what's up.
What's it, Monday? Yeah, last night. Yeah. I had him watch it last night. He watched the whole thing. It's like an hour and like 10 minutes. And he was like, you know what? I need to change. Because he saw someone who he recognized from familiar territory, right? Like, he doesn't know who Esteban Weaver is personally, but he knows the city because that's the city he was born in. That's where we just moved from. Right. Oh, he was from Columbus? Yeah, he was from Columbus, bro. Like, he knew KG. He knew Allen Iverson. He knew Kobe Bryant. He played against them. He was that age. He was the top-ranked high school player in the country, bro. So out of KG, Ronnie Fields. Yep. Ronnie Fields from Chicago played with KG. Kobe, AI, and all them guys. Bro, until he decided he want to start smoking weed. He want to start stealing cars. He thought he could do whatever he wanted. No terms of service, bro. No terms of service. And then when he tried to enlist in the draft, bro, he didn't even get drafted. Because everybody saw, and it goes back to what I was saying. You think what you're doing doesn't impact anybody
absolutely.
Else. And because they don't know me. Right. Oh, yeah, they might have heard some stuff, but he thought his skills alone would be able to be overlooked by his retarded, sorry for the PC incorrect way, for the foolish, the foolish act. And I think that to me is a good example of my son. He was sitting there on the ottoman and he was like, yeah, man, I'm glad I watched that. Like, I'm glad I watched that. He was like, man, I gotta, man, I can't be the same. Because I was like, wouldn't that suck if someone said you're the man, the myth, and the legend that never was? Like, that you have so much potential. Everybody's seen you. Like Dwayne, when he was in here getting cut up, he was like, hey, have him come up. And he's been to the spot like a couple times. Just because he believed in him and seen him. He was like, man, like, I'll even give him a pass just to come up here. Oh, recently? The past couple times. You know what I'm saying? Just to come up there on those Fridays just to play ball. Because, like, he's seen him, man. And even other people ask all the time, like, is he part of a club team or any of that? Because they see his skill set. And then he even said himself yesterday, he was like, man, other kids be looking up to me too. Like, he said himself out of his own mouth, like, he was thinking about how when he goes to school early, he always gets dropped off at like 7, and like 30 putting shots up. Just putting shots up just so that he can be at school, and then other kids will want to play with him because they're used to seeing him. and they know who he is.
He got the juice, bro.
Bro.
He got the juice. He got the work ethic already.
And it's just a matter of him aligning himself with established terms of service for his own life.
Right.
If you just think that you can do whatever you want, going back to your point, bro, I can do whatever I want. I can be a free bird out here. Dude, there's consequences for every unthought of or unconsidered action when you think that you have the the freedom and
I got a story for that one. Go ahead,
right for yourself. Like, oh, it's my own life. I can do whatever I want. YOLO, baby. Like, nah.
Those things that you do will come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
All right, so look, I had a job offer to be a correctional officer. I was like 23 at the time.
Uh-huh.
And so, I passed the physical, passed the written, all that stuff. They was about to offer me the job.
Mm-hmm.
But, on my application, they asked me when was the last time I smoked weed.
Yeah.
And so I had said like maybe 2-3 years ago. Anyway, the amount of time was not long enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, look, man, you better get yourself some terms of service because I'm telling you, even if you think you out the clear, sometimes that stuff can come back and haunt you.
Yeah.
So, man, get you some convictions, get you some terms of service. Don't let anybody get you off of your square.
Well, shoot, let's give them some points on that. Let's give them some progression points on that.
Yes.
What would be some progression points? And you can speak on this first, Corey, on some steps that can be taken for them to establish those terms of service for themselves.
Simple, man. Write it down.
Ooh, yes.
We know in the Bible, man. Habakkuk 2:2 it says, write the vision, make it plain.
Make it plain.
Write out your terms of service. Yeah. I'm not doing this. If somebody comes at me with this, and this, I can't be in the same vicinity with them, same room, because I have a goal, I have something that I'm trying to accomplish, and that will amend my terms of service, and I just can't rock with it, bro.
Yeah.
And so just something simple, tangible. Write it down. That's a progression point.
No, I like that. That's a beautiful progression point.
Write it down.
Another one I want to add to that, and this is more like a disclaimer to anybody else. Is gold diggers and whoremongers. We're not talking about y'all going out here and trying to get a sugar daddy or get someone that's trying to pay your bills. Don't establish terms of service like I ain't talking to no broke dudes,
right? And
I ain't talking to no chicks unless they giving it up for the first night. Like,
right.
We ain't talking about those types of TOSs.
Right.
We're talking about things that are actually progressive towards you becoming a better human being. And that you're able to also add value to other human beings with your own self-respect that you're creating for your own boundaries in your life.
Yep.
And so writing them down, making them plain as relates to who do you see yourself as being? Like, who did God call you to be, or who did mama say you were, or who did auntie or uncle or daddy say that you were when you were younger? And hold on to those positive perspectives and then build on that. And use that as an example for yourself and say, hey, I remember when people used to say I can do this. Yep. All right, go back in remembrance of that.
Yeah.
If you need assistance in what you should write down.
Yep.
So I love what Corey talked about is write down and make the vision plain because it's in Habakkuk 2:2. But also in that, if you're finding difficulty in what you should write down, look back on how people who you looked up to saw you and start from there so you can have a building block of perspective, and then build from there.
And the third one, is looking at successful people.
Yeah.
Because everybody who was successful had TOS.
Yeah.
I think of I lived in Rockford, Illinois, for the past 8 years before I moved out here, and everybody knows the Toronto Raptors just won the NBA championship last year, and they had Fred VanVleet.
Yep.
And man, Fred come from, Fred got an incredible story. You know what I mean? I know his story. Incredible story, man. Had some tragedies early on, but Fred had a good support system. But Fred definitely had terms of services, man. Where I heard a lot of people say you didn't see Fred at a lot of parties.
Yeah.
Fred didn't do a lot of partying. Fred, was all about I have to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he sacrificed a lot of stuff now. He playing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He playing. He's a champion. Just got a nice contract.
Because he went undrafted, right?
He went undrafted.
Yeah.
You know, his slogan is bet on yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Boy, you know what I'm saying? Bet on yourself. And that's a dope acronym, you know what I'm saying? Bet on yourself. But, man, you know, Fred, like I said, man, he sacrificed a lot. I remember hearing about Michael Jordan, man. Michael Jordan was like, I didn't really focus on females.
Yeah.
You know, I just felt like anytime you hear somebody successful, bro, they got tunnel vision.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
They have tunnel vision, bro. They have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your man's, was it
Esteban Weaver, bro.
He didn't have tunnel vision.
Nope.
He thought he was the man. He's like, I'm finna get it popping right now, and I'm straight. I'm the best high school. I'm in high school. He thought he arrived, bro.
He thought he arrived. He was feeling himself, bro.
Man, imagine if he had some boundaries in place.
Yeah.
Or if somebody, you know what I'm saying, was in his ear, like, yo,
Yeah.
you need to put some boundaries in place, some terms of service.
Yeah.
Boundaries are safety. They're safety nets.
Bro.
They're put in place, you know, in a car.
Yeah.
You know, if a car didn't have a governor, a car could go as fast as it wants to.
Yeah.
And you're crashing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Boundaries are meant to be put in place for you to not crash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Head on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't look at, man, boundaries or, you know, as we're saying now, terms of service.
Yeah.
Don't look at it as a bad thing, man. It's put in place for your success. You know what I mean? So, man, just I can't stress it enough.
No, it's
Can't
real
stress
though.
it enough.
Like, no, it's so legitimate, and it's very important for everybody listening, even for ourselves. Like, our terms of service, like, even right now, from a man to my right to y'all's visual left, however you're watching this or whatever, but, like, terms of service for him is accountability to his health.
Absolutely.
Right? And for me as his boy, like, I'm making sure, like, I never want to be in this lifetime knowing that I didn't hold myself accountable to my man, making sure that his health is a priority. And because at the end of the day, like, this is bigger than a podcast and trying to make something that looks cool.
Yeah.
It's about what are you trying to create as it relates to legacy and who you're trying to build with.
Yep.
And my terms of service for me is being more accountable to my relationships, right? Making that a thing that is not just at the bottom of the list, but making sure that it's something that I'm checking off and being aware of, like, hey, let me make sure I'm doing this. Because sometimes we can get so caught up in what we're doing that and that's another sneaky way of us dismissing our TOSs.
Yeah.
Like, because we're
so busy.
We're too busy.
Too busy.
Too
Life
busy.
is happening.
No.
I was thinking about, I'm going to paraphrase it again, the scripture when it says, a man without self-control or a man without restraint is like a city that's without walls.
Yeah.
Man, if a city's under siege and they don't have walls, it's run over.
Yeah.
It's completely going to be taken over by that outside force. It's done.
Yeah.
It's going to get wiped out.
Yeah. Think how many accidents there would be if there was no street lines and no stoplights.
Restraint.
Right? Like, if we thought that we can go whenever we wanted, you know how many car accidents there will be? How many, like, pedestrians would be killed on the road?
Yep.
Because there is no boundaries, but the city decided that we have a term of how things are ran. So their TOSs, our terms of service, is that no one can pass this if it's red.
Right.
It has to be green, and you need to yield when it's yellow. Right. And then the orangish red hand means stop walking.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and the guy walking means is giving you permission, or the white fluorescent character that's walking is giving you permission.
Yep.
To go to actually move forward. Distraction.
My bad. He was flowing. Then here come the distractions. That was my bad.
Wait, what?
No, but like, bro, it's crazy that you said that, because it made me think about this thing I was listening to, where Miles Monroe was talking about. Basically, I'm just trying to I'm saying it again. I'm paraphrasing, but okay, how can I put this? Basically, you know, what we're talking about, like having terms of services or restraints, is good, but on the flip side of that, that's where your success lies. Mm-hmm. And then there's no limit to what you can do if you are following these terms of service that you put forth in your life.
Yeah, because there's now you have standards for how you're going to function and what you're not going to allow someone else to influence you past a certain point. And so you actually put yourself in a greater position to have limitless opportunities.
Limitless, bro. Limitless.
When you put boundaries in certain places.
Yep.
And it's so funny how it sounds like it's a contradiction within itself.
Right.
Like, I got to create boundaries in order to have a limitless life. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely,
I have to have
bro.
standards in order to have success. I have to have expectations that I consistently execute upon without wavering from in order to have an existence that I dream or aspire to have, or at least be close to it.
Yep.
But if we're just saying, hey, I do things however I want, whenever I feel like it,
then
there's no order.
Then you end up on my 600-pound life.
Yeah, bro. Be on TLC. Like, you successful now because everybody's looking at you at not what to look like. Like, you a successful... Like,
successful mess.
I'm successful mess.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Right, for real. Shout out to Travis Scott. But no, man, this I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this myself.
Yeah,
because this is good stuff.
No, because this is what us holding each other accountable.
Absolutely.
This is us going back and being aware of, like, again, we're putting content out there again for all of our audience, our viewers, and our listeners. And we appreciate every single one of you that liked, comment, post, reshared, or whatever. We're not saying this because we're just trying to be, conduits of just flowing things to you guys, but this is accountability for us. Like, it makes us go back and be like, man, dude, I said this.
Right.
And again, we're not chasing perfection because there's a lot of things that I know I've said on some other episodes that I have not been consistent in.
Right.
Right. But when we're able to, and we can come back to full awareness of it, that's a refreshing perspective of saying, hey, I have a new opportunity because I'm aware and I'm alive to actually do something about it right now.
Absolutely.
And that's what you guys can do right now with writing it down, assessing it by, if you don't have anything, by going back and looking at what people have said that were positive words of affirmation for you. And then
looking at other people.
Looking at other people who would match where you would like to go or you like to replicate to some capacity in your current life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. So those are 3 progression points from your boys here.
Yep. And, man, Ty brought up something that was dope. He said we're going to try to keep these audio joints to 30 minutes. And we're right there. And, as we start, having YouTube, videos, we're going to, we'll go a little longer. But for right now, man, bro, this is it, man. We did it. We did 30 minutes.
I'm glad. I feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we didn't really go on crazy tangents or anything like that.
Well, to be rabbit trail.
Yeah, bro. We out here looking like gophers popping up on different things. Like, oh, bro.
Absolutely.
But it's us recreating terms of service right now as you hear this episode. This is our TOS for ourselves because we want to make sure that we're giving you guys quality content and we're making the main thing without going down too many rabbit holes to get lost in because it's easy. Because this is a fun process.
Absolutely.
We enjoy what we're doing, but we also want to make sure that you as a listener don't feel like, man, what are these dudes talking about?
Right.
So
nah, man. With that being said, man, this is episode, I think, 7.
7.
So, man, we are signing off, man, and we will see y'all. Well, we won't see you guys, but we, man, just lock in with us, man. Go hit us up on Apple. Yes. We're on Spotify. Leave a review. Hit us up on IG at the Progression Point Podcast. Yep. Facebook as well. Same, the Progression Point Podcast. And we will talk to y'all next week.
Oh,
Peace.
Alexa.
Google. I'm just saying.
You got them devices, brother. Siri. Tell them.
Alexa. Find the Progression Point Podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to do it if you got an Alexa right now. Hey, Alexa, play the Progression Point Podcast right now. Hey, Siri, play the Progression Point Podcast right now.
All right, man. Hey, we gonna see y'all. All right, Siri, man. We'll talk to y'all next week, man. We love y'all. Peace.